Now on to the business at hand. I didn't even know John McNaboe played baseball.
I'm going out.
When I first met John in the 60s, I knew he sold Dixie cups. As a matter of fact, if you read the program, you'll find out that he did a lot more than that in that industry as well. But I knew that he sold Dixie cups. I knew he had a beautiful wife, and he still does.
Aww.
And I knew he had darling twin daughters, and he still does. But I knew nothing about baseball. In fact, I occasionally would hear about a baseball legend named Jack McNaboe, and I thought maybe it was his cousin or something like that. Of course, I was from Augusta, and up there we did have our local legends. One of them's here, Eddie Lansky. We heard from Steve Lancaster. We had some great baseball players come out of that area. We didn't get the Press Herald, so we didn't know what was going on down here. It didn't, in that area, Coney and Augusta didn't have the diversity that the greater Portland area had with schools like Deering and Portland High, and of course, Shepherd's. Back when I first met John, I had just moved to Cousins Island in Yarmouth, and I was a neighbor of his. And my relationship with John had nothing to do with sports, unless, of course, you call beer drinking around the barbecue grill a sport. He was a pretty easy guy to get to know, quite social, a trait that he continues to possess today. And he was Irish. That's how I eventually came to know about the great career, the 300 hitting, the infield prowess of this latest inductee into the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame. It was during a St. Patrick's Day tour of various cultural centers in Greater Portland. And we wound up at Eddie Griffin's in South Portland, along a mecca of area sports fans, and I dare say an occasional hangout of current and former athletes. Back then it was kind of like television's Cheers, even before there was a Red Sox nation. As John introduced me to literally dozens of friends and former teammates, it became clear to me that I was in the company of Maine baseball royalty. Guys were bumping into each other to have a chance to shake his hand or give him a pat on the back, and to talk about those days not too long ago when he was a hero on the field and a fixture in the sports pages. I felt like I should be organizing a reception line so everybody could say hi to John. As I listened, I learned how over the years he had been a team leader at Chevrolet's, for the Stuart P. Morrill Post American Legion team, at Holy Cross, and even in the Army, where his team won inter-service competition in Japan and went on to compete for the Far East Championship. There were tales of great games, key contests on the way to a championship, or extra innings games where John's clutch hitting helped bring a win. There was talk about terrific infield players, the quick hands, the strong arm, that gunned down runners from second and sometimes even third base. And there were references to other members of the great McNaboe baseball family. John's dad, Morris, and his brothers Tom and Dennis, all of whom had been stars in their own right on regional and local baseball diamonds. And mostly it was a night of admiration for many dear friends and teammates who clearly still held their former infielder in great esteem. Like I said earlier, I didn't know John McNaboe played baseball. But by the time we left Eddie Griffin's that night, and over the many years of our friendship since, I too have come to understand that not only did he play baseball, he played baseball damn well. When John asked me to do this, by the way, I asked him, what do you want me to say? And with a typical Irish twinkle in his eye, he said, just get up there and tell him what a great guy I am. Well, I can say with honesty, excuse me, apparently every time you lie, the mic's sweet. I can tell you with great honesty that he, in fact, is a great guy, and that, plus his wonderful career in baseball, are why we're here today, and why I'm very, very proud to present John McNaboe for induction into the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame.